Hey there everyone, this is Piper here, and this is another Mountain Blade Warband video. I'm going to go over some of the equipment that I used in my campaign to take over the map, and hopefully I can maybe give you some advice on what I learned in the game as well. I've only just got the game, but I'll give you some tips and what I did to try and make conquering the map a bit easier. So what we'll do is we'll go over the equipment that I used. Right now, I'm currently using it's called thick plate armor, and it's one of the best armors you can buy in the game. It's fairly heavy, but very good body armor. You get plus 57 and plus 19 to the leg armor. So that's excellent armor right there. I'm using it's called Thick Great Helmet, and it's a very good helmet. I know there's one better helmet. It's called the Great Winged Helmet, but I really like the sort of the classic cross pattern there on the helmet. So it's not the best helmet, but I do like the pattern and the design of it. Got reinforced plate boots, and they're plus 37 to the leg armor. So that whole body armor right there, it means he's very powerful. It's going to take a lot to bring this guy down. Plus he's got thick gauntlets as well, and they're plus 9 to body armor. So that right there, that's very powerful. Going to the weapons, got this guy Masterwork Nomad Saber, and I know the pole arms are superior in Mountain Blade, especially multiplayer, but for the purposes of single player, I found this sword to be very effective. It's very fast. You've got a speed rating of 101, and it's relatively long as well. So it means that it's excellent for on horseback, and it's very good using it on the ground as well. And obviously it's masterwork as well, so you have the plus 5 on the damage. I've got a reinforced round cavalry shield, and I tried to get a better shield than this, but what I like about it is that it's fairly powerful, but it's also very fast. There are more powerful shields out there that have a lot more, they can take a lot more damage, but they're a lot slower to use in combat, whereas this shield, it doesn't actually, it's fairly weak in comparison, but it's very fast. So when you need to get the shield up, you can rely on it to be there. I'm using a bow and arrow as well as secondary. I fought in a massive battle, and I was able to get this bow. It's called Masterwork Kurget bow, and I was using the war bow before, and this is just basically a better version of it. More damage, it's faster as well, and it's probably does slightly more damage than the fact that it's masterwork. And I've got a large bag of barbed arrows as well. So that was the core of what I was using in the campaign to take over the map. Again, I fought in a big battle, and I was able to get this warhorse. It's called Heavy Seranian Warhorse, and it's basically just like a bog standard warhorse, but I think it's got more armor. It's got like 50% more armor. It's more maneuverable. It's got a better charge and more hit points. So it's just a better version of a warhorse. So again, I found that I was able to take that off the enemy. So that's really what I was using for most of the late campaign. Got some bits and bobs. I've got a glaive, which is a pole arm. It's like a very long axe, but it's good because it's got a very long reach, and it's good for defending castles if you have to defend a castle. I picked this weapon up as well. It's called Balanced Surrounded Cavalry Sword, and it's basically just it's like a long sword. It's got a weapon reach of 105. Compare that to Nomad Saber, that's 97. So that's a lot longer. and it's the same speed as well, but it does less damage. Got a heavy axe and some lances. To be fair, I haven't really used many of these weapons there. I used the warbow a lot till I got the Kurget bow. But again, that Nomad Saber, once I got that was just really, really good. And selection of horses there. So it's important to, what we'll do is we'll come out of this, and it's important. What I found was it's important to get some good characters with you. So we'll just call these people Fellowship, possibly. I've got about 6 or 7 characters with me, and these guys, I was able to give them all really good armor. Just check out this guy's armor. It's called Baheshter, and he's one of the first guys he actually joined my gang, or Fellowship. And right now he has some of the best armor. He's got surrounded elite armor. He's got an amazing helmet, and he's got a balanced heavy saber. So again, very, very good armor and very good horse as well, and weapons. So you want to pick up at least a couple of these guys. These guys will never die. They'll get wounded, but they'll never die, and you can give them good armor. They're basically super soldiers that you can use to help you, and they'll also help you take over castles. So it's important that you rank these guys up and you give them the weapons they need and the armor. So I had about 7 of these players with me. Got a guy called Lezalit there, and I did have another character called Katrine, but when I was taking over the whole map, I did have a fairly large army because I had to take over castles, and at some points some of the castles took 66 hours to take over, and during the siege your morale tends to decrease, and she actually left. So I was actually trying to find her by visiting the taverns, but I don't think she wants to be found right now. So she'll probably turn up later on, but he's kind of replacing her at the moment. So once you get good armor, you want to get your characters good armor as well. And once they get really good armor, you'll be able to take on most armies, because a suit of armor that's plus 57, it's going to take a lot of hits to get through. So that'll be one of your main aims. I've actually taken over the whole map. I achieved the Manifest Destiny Steam Award, and the strategy that I used, obviously I'm still quite new to the game, but I was Swadia, and you start off with Praven, Suna, and Ox Hall, I think that's how you pronounce it. And the disadvantage here is, like, you're right bang in the centre, and you've got enemies to the south, to the west, and to the north. So you're like the only faction that has to fight everyone. Well, you get borders to everyone. So I tried to expand eastwards, had some major battles down here, and I picked up a lot of good armor, a lot of good equipment. And you want to really, early in the game, you want to try and fight as much as you can. You want to scavenge off the battlefield, take the armor, use what's good, sell what isn't good, attack bandits, sell those guys into slavery, take their weapons, because you're quite short in cash at the start as well. So that's one of the key aims: get cash at the start, rank up your character skills and armor. And once you've done that, you really want to sort of consolidate your gains, and if you can eliminate a faction, for example Swadia, the obvious faction to eliminate at the start was the Rodics, because you have Nords to the north, Rodics to the south, and the Nords are the best faction in the game. I didn't know that at the time, but I made the right move by attacking the Rodics first. So once I had Yelin, Veluka, and Jalkala taken out, I had a good base here to attack the rest of the Empire, or the rest of the map. So what I did then was, I attacked the Nords next, and they were difficult to take out. The castles were very powerful. So I went south, took over this, took out the Nords, and then I basically just worked my way down. Because if you have the enemy will counterattack, and it's quite difficult maintaining your castles because they need to be manned, and it's much easier if you don't have enemies behind your lines. So you really want to have some sort of system of taking over the map. You don't want to have castles behind your lines, and they'll be prone to counterattacks. So you want to do that, and again, you want to try and get money by selling on what you gain in battle. Another thing to bear in mind, you have the king. Once you gain a certain amount of renown, the king will start recognizing you for castles and villages, and he'll give you land as rewards. So you want to be in the king's good books rather, and you want to make sure that he likes you. I made a mistake in the game whereby I pissed him off by, I was trying to do a side quest helping out a fellow count by resolving a problem, and I spoke to the king, and the king turned on me, and it went from like 7 to -7. So basically it meant that the king wouldn't give me any land that I won in battle. So it meant I had to basically rely on selling, basically winning battles, selling the equipment that I found in battle, and defeating bandits to get money, which made my life a lot harder. So you want to make sure the king's on your side and you don't piss him off. And if you are planning on taking over the whole map, be prepared for a long campaign, because it does take a long time. So it took me probably about 970 in-game days, probably about 60 hours in total to complete. But you will get there eventually. Just don't lose many battles at the start, and you should get there eventually. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. You've probably taken some of the tips and advice on board. If you're an experienced player, you probably know these things already. But thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Let me know if there's any videos you want uploaded, or if any games you want to have commentaries on, and I'll see if I can arrange that. So this is Piper signing off.